lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party. Roll up to the party, roll up to the
Right. Where am I hearing the music from? Where am I hearing music? I'm hearing music. Where am I hearing music from? I'm hearing music. Where am I hearing the music coming from? Right, wait a minute. So I just shut down some pages. I'm hearing music. What is going on this morning? Is the music on the actual live? Let me just see this. Scapads. Right, there's no music on the live. Right, my laptop's going mental. My laptop's having a party on its own. Right, there are only a few folk online just now. I'm expecting some more on because let's have a party. Let's face it, Celtic are in the Champions League draw this morning. Morning, Kevin. How are you this morning? There's some more folk coming on. Drop a comment. I have opened up the comments this morning. Even if you're not a subscriber, you'll be able to comment. See how many zombies we can catch this morning. I can't see them being far too many because let's face it, they're not in the Champions League and we are. That's where we're going to be having a party in the Champions League. So, obviously, the fantastic news last night is we got Palma in the door. We knew that was going to happen anyway. It's just took them a little bit of time to get through all the nonsense that's been going on with air traffic control. It has been suggested also that Celtic do have a defender in the house. And I'm just trying to get back to football. Football there. SPFL. Celtic. There we go. Back on that. So who is all on? Rab. I think it could be a liquidation 2.0 soon if we get the signings. Not days, we can compete for third and second in the group stages with a bit of luck. Said Rab. That's an interesting one. Do you think that will look, Rab? The way that I've always said it, I said as long as we finish third in the group, it'll be a good season. If you can finish third in the Champions League, it is one of the last times that you can drop down from the Champions League into the Europa. So I think that has to be the main objective for this season, is getting that third spot. When you look at the teams, where's my phone? I've left my phone somewhere. When you look at the teams that are in the Champions League, it's going to be a tall order, a really tall order for a team. We have had, there is going to be some continuity, but it's a lot. It depends how good Brendan Rodgers can bring this team together. Aaron Nome's in the house, Frankie Boy's in the house, Port Chop Express is in the house. Yes, give me 5 bars. The sun's out here. Cody, Jesus, he's working with Kev. Oh, the zombies are all off today. There's a surprise. Tell him I hope he's working. Hope he's not working too hard, John. Yeah, tell him I hope he's not working too hard. Yeah, good to see John on. Anyway, you're on a building site. What are you doing on with your phone? It's the laughs. Big five from PSV. Yep. Brendan just sorts the team out. Just go for it, says Kevin. Yes, I think the good thing is if you watch the video that I put out this morning, obviously we're getting this Portuguese guy in, and I did have his stats up and I closed it down. 2 seconds. The fact that we can get this guy for 21 for 3 million. No, 2 seconds. Let's get his stats back up. Now they did value him a couple of seasons ago. They valued him at 5 million, but his current market value is 3 million. If Celtic can get this guy in on a year loan to buy deal, and if he's half as good as Jota, and let's face it, Portuguese players are going to be a little bit better than I'm the boss. Quite right, John. That's quite right. If we can get this guy in, which looks like it's happening, there's been suggestions that he has left and he's on his way to Celtic Park. Hailing from North Iraq. Jesus, Owen. That's a new one. It's an awful day to wake up. It's a fantastic day to wake up. Um, and like John says there's not a lot of them on his building site this morning. I wonder why. I wonder why. They're all off. Did they have their days off planned, John? Tell me in the comments. Or have they mysteriously phoned in sick? North Iraq, Kurdistan. Anyway, it's always beautiful to wake up with them. So, like, Paulo, if you can get him on a loan to buy for 3 million, 3, 4 million, and if he's half as good as Jota, he's half as good as Jota. He is a little bit younger. He's only 21-year-old. And we could go down the road of why we're not playing our own players. Well, if they're not good enough, that's probably the reason why. He has got goals in him. He's scored at every level. He hasn't scored in the Champions League. He scored in the Cup. He scored in the UEFA League Cup. He scored in the Portuguese League and Portuguese League Two. He scored 7 goals. So he's got goals in him, considering the amount of games he's played from midfield, which is something that we need to get more goals within the team. Yes, Kyrgyzstan. What a beautiful morning it is, says Lorna. And I don't have any barriers up this morning. So if you're not a subscriber, you can comment on the live this morning, purely to get as many people on, and just because we know they're not going to be coming on this morning. Right, let's get some more Celtic news. Emilio Izaguirre has handed over the torch to another Honduras player, and Nate Phillips is in the house. Nate is undergoing his medical. He came up to Glasgow yesterday, and I'm expecting him to get out today. The thing is, we really need a goalkeeper, and who are we going to get in as goalkeeper? And also, will Rio Hatate sign a new deal? There's a lot of talk about the fact that Abada is now going to sign a new deal. Says a lot about Brendan getting this guy in for Liverpool. There's a lot of fans out there that have been getting Brendan stick for the way that we're playing and stuff, and why did he come back? Nice morning, and Paisley, take care of yourself. The channel is keeping me sane here, and no wonder. What a crazy part what is it like in that part of the world? Anyway, it must be absolutely nuts over there. Yeah, don't tell us too much. In fact, you'll probably get. Is it still as bad as ever over there, or is it not as bad as what the media makes it? Anyway, let's move on. Will Rio Hatate sign a new deal with Celtic? That's one of the questions that needs to be asked. If he doesn't, he should be sold, if you ask me. He's had a couple of bad passes and that. He's now injured pre-season. He wasn't at his best. Does he have that conviction? And he even came out in the papers and saying, yeah, there's a bit of a hangover, a bit of a love romance with his previous manager and how they played, and that was ingrained into him, which is seems to come across as a bit of a reluctance to change. And considering that the Japanese and everything talk about Kaizen, and Kaizen is all about continuous improvement. And if you've been in manufacturing, you'll know all about Kaizen. And it's all about continuous improvement. And if he doesn't seem to want to continuously improve at Celtic, let's get him in the Champions League, show him off, and then sell him, as far as I'm concerned. Just caught Kev sweating there. He'll be on an injury now. It must be hot if Kev's just broke into a sweat, because Kev never breaks into a sweat. Never. That guy could work 100 miles an hour for 7 hours straight and never break into a sweat. So it must be hot. Yeah. Kurdistan, absolutely stunning, great country. But they're very different ideas. Yeah, they do. They do. But it's each to their own. We are a big, wonderful world, and we shouldn't try and push our own thoughts onto other nations. It happens far too many. Right, back to Celtic news. We're not here to talk about geopolitics and where everyone's from around the world. Said Haksabanovic. I wonder what will happen to him in the next just over a day and a bit now of the transfer window. I'll be interested to see what happens with the 24-year-old. As far as I'm concerned, I said it in the video this morning, I think Celtic should sell him. The fact that he seems to think he is better than what he is. Consistently, he's not been good enough for Celtic. He does have a talent. He does have a talent there, and you know he can change a game sometimes. But when he comes off the bench and he can do that, and he obviously doesn't want to be a bench player. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to come off the bench and working in Bankery on yourself, Rod from Breton. Um, he obviously doesn't want to come in and be a squad player and an impact player. He must think he's going to do. Lanky's already given us Benfica, Leipzig, and Lazio. That would be good for away trips. I still think we might get a Spanish team. We'll be lucky, Lanky, if we'll be absolutely amazed if we managed to miss out an English team. Considering there was three of them in the one group, might be reluctance to a bit of change, but he's finding it difficult to change after 4 years playing the same way. Players change all the time. I mean, if you want to give if any player that's worth his salt, if they want to achieve the highest level, they change what they do slightly. Oh yeah, happy birthday, Lanky! Forgot about that, Lorna. You reminded us all. It's Lanky's. Are you working today, Lanky? Or are you off? Are you off and on it all day? The zombies started singing "No Surrender" as they learned the score last night on the 94th. You are kidding on. They did not. Oh my goodness, they did not. Yes, so let's give a big happy birthday to Lanky. It is his birthday today, and he does hold the gate for us when it comes to holding the zombies out. Lanky, it's just to let you know that there's no need to be gatekeeper today. Well, if they're a mouthful, just I don't can't see anyone being on, but I have changed it so that anyone can comment on the video this morning. Because let's face it, there's not going to be too many of them smirking about, want to even show themselves. What have you missed, Ian? You've not missed too much this morning. We've been having a bit of a laugh, we're all PSV this morning. We're talking a little bit about Paulo Bernardo, who is coming in from Benfica. If we can get him on a loan to buy deal, and it looks like we're going to get him for around about 3 million. If we can get him for 3 million, it should be a cracking deal. He's younger than what Jota was, and he's got goals on him as well. He plays midfield and he also plays attacking midfield. So we have that option to let Callum McGregor go further forward, or he's going to sit just behind Callum. We don't know. Don't know. Yes, today will be a 100 zone, just like the Champions League. Really entertaining game last night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's Stevie, gee, that's the penalty. That's plenty now. Let's focus on Celtic. Yeah, let's focus on Celtic. Right, Haksabanovic. We need to talk about him again, right? So when you think about it, you've got Abada, you've got um, Maida, you've got James Forrest that are probably in front of him. Then you're bringing in Yang and Marco. You know, they're probably way before Haksabanovic getting in. I think it's time for Haksabanovic to go, especially after these comments. I mean, he is a fantastic player. He's clearly unhappy at Celtic. He's clearly unhappy the way that he's conducted himself on social media. He should have went to the manager. Allowing Haksabanovic to leave would obviously free up some wages as well. Is there any pros to keeping Haksabanovic? You know, I can't think of any pros at the moment to keeping a player that's not that happy. And when you look at players, Yang looks good. Yeah, Yang looks a fantastic player. Bernardo is a number 10 in my position, in my opinion. Niles is morning. Roll on 4:45. TNT Sports for the draw. Yep, the draw starts at 5 p.m. at Celtic Park time. We will be going live on this channel, remember. So sit and watch the draw on the telly, and we can all get excited. Get excited about the Champions League. We're in the Champions League again. Do you know how many times have we've not said that enough over the on the road to 9? That was the one downside of it, is the fact that we weren't in the Champions League enough during those 9 years. And it shows you how hard and difficult it is to get in the Champions League. But then again, some people will say it shows lack of ambition by the boards to getting players quick enough. It was always the case that we would get players in after we had qualified for the Champions League, which was the wrong way to do it. It was always the wrong way to do it. The fact that we're going straight to the Champions League this year, without having to go through the qualifiers. You can see what can happen in the qualifiers last night. That mob got absolutely ruined by all accounts. We regress from a position of strength, but the zombies regress from a position of regression. Like, I mean, they're getting freebie players in and everything, so we can't knock them out. We need to move on. We need to get the squad bigger and better, and it looks like the manager has done that. There's not been a single sniff of who we might get in as a goalkeeper. Let's face it, the goalkeeping position, Hart has got it so easy because there's no real competition. The only worry going into the last day of the transfer window is Leeds are still, there's still a lot of buzz coming about from Leeds, saying that Leeds are still thinking about making a last minute offer for Matt O'Reilly. There's quite a few Leeds sites talking about it. So that is a bit of a worry, but I don't think Celtic will not sell him. They will not sell him. What time is it there now? What time is it where? Here, with me. It's 26 minutes past 11. Anyway, morning, Baz says Lupin, looking for some positive for Sunday. I think it's going to be, will they be able to be, after getting a humping last night like that, I think Celtic has come to the top of the league, right? We go to a ground where we don't have any fans. The players will get pumped up for that, right? Because, like Big Roy Aitken used to say, Big Roy Aitken used to say to Moultman, he says, I don't know the words of the sash, Jimmy. He says, I don't know the words of the sash because the time they get to the second verse, we've scored. And he said, that was it. That was Big Roy Aitken back in the 80s. And he used to tell that story to Moultman. He says he never knew the words of the sash because we would have scored and shut them up. That's what we need to do this weekend. We need an early goal this weekend. We need to hit them hard right from the start. We got a goal in the first 5 minutes, and it's night. It's we'll put them to bed. We missed a trick on Jack Butland, in my opinion. Are you having a laugh, Port Chops? Did you see the one that he let in last night? When he was running back, really? I don't think so. I don't think so. Focus will be on our form, but the Huns are crap. Shirley Huns Helper Supreme. We'll have a clear out in January, says Kevin. Another clear out. I mean, there are players that are going to leave today, tomorrow. Haksabanovic has to be someone. There are other players as well. Baz says, morning, Baz. I love your show. Always put a smile on my face. Good. Hail from Oak Fife. We will beat them on Sunday. Well, people are a lot more positive. Even on the football group, there was a lot of people that were a bit worried. A bit worried about the fact that we are not at our best at the moment. And if they got a result last night, they would have been going into Sunday thinking, "Yep, we can do this." They got an absolute tanking last night. Like, they got an absolute tanking last night. Celtic have not been playing good. We've just brought in an absolutely fantastic winger. We've just brought in a defender that is just going to be menacing to them, and we're going to bring in a midfield player that, by all accounts, is just as good as Jota. So, with that being said, and he's got goals in them. It's all about getting these players in today, and it's going to see how many of them will start. I heard something this morning. Joe Hart will be going to the States at the end of the season. I heard that a couple of weeks ago, Lanky. I heard that he was not going to sign a new contract. His family has never moved up to Scotland, and he doesn't see his long-term future in Scotland. And um, that was why it was important for Celtic to get in a keeper. And that was why everyone thought, I thought we were going to go for the Croatian guy. But they should be worried because we are only going to get better, Lorna. Yes, this is right. Back to Lanky, yeah. Joe Hart will not, he's not going to be here at the end of the season. He signed a 3-year deal. He knows that he's not going to be here. His family has never moved up. People have said at Celtic Park, he says that he wants to be with his family and they don't see the long-term future at Celtic. So, that was why it was imperative that we got someone in that made the transition a bit easier. Lorna, let's be honest, the only up for Celtic It is. Kevin says, I'm quite happy now. Kalmak is a bit of backup and the defence is looking better. Listen, see, the thing is as well, right? I mean, we're getting people were saying it's panic buys, and I know that I said, look, we're waiting. The other day there was a rumour going on the Serbian keeper, I forget his name. I've not heard that one. Is that not the guy at 10 million? Not a chance of he spending 10 million. Yeah, I heard that one as well, but it's 10 million. We're not going for a 10 million keeper. Not a chance. We go for a 10 million keeper, and I'll hand over the channel to you. There you go. For a day. For a day. And advertising board said, oh, goals and own goal priceless. Right. Where was I? The only thing that worries me is Rangers will have Don Robertson back in the squad for Sunday. Don't care. Any word on the left back? No, not as yet. There goes John, the madman himself. He'll Baz of some haggis pakora on me. Oh, what I'd give for a bit of haggis pakora than I'd give for a bit of haggis pakora. I tell you, the things that you don't get over here, haggis is one of them. And do you know why that is? Brexit. Haggis is unbelievably hard to get over here now because of Brexit. Yeah, thank you, Brexit, for just ruining everything. It's unbelievable the damage, and the UK doesn't cover it at all. Yeah, I know. Stay off politics. Lanky, Donnelly last night was smashing. It was absolutely smashing. It was that. It was absolutely. It was. I never watched the game. I watched the scoreline a couple of times, and then I just thought, you know what? Leave it to them. Leave it to them if they manage to turn it around. But there was never any chance when you seen what PSV did the last round. You were expecting them to score a barrel load of goals, right? Update on keeper. Oh, interesting one. And a trio could leave. Yeah, it looks like Benji Segrist is going to leave. Who are we going to get in? Who are we going to get in? Rocco Vata, Jetty's gone. Soro's gone. Rocco Vata, he's gone. 500,000. I'm hearing for that. Um, I wonder where Benji Segrist is going to go. I feel sorry for Benji Segrist, actually. He's never really been given a chance. Do you think Benji Segrist is better than Scott Bain? I think that it all comes down to the last time that the manager was here. Governs a ghost town this morning. I bet you it is. It better be away to Baines. Square sausage with HP sauce. He's talking about Kev. He's talking about my brother. Anyway, Governs a ghost town. Um, we really need a goalkeeper. We need someone that's going to push Joe Hart. We need somebody that's going to push Joe Hart, and you know, and it's more to the fact it does come down to it. You know, a goalkeeper. He is in the last year of his contract. He's not going to renew the contract. He is. Wouldn't be surprised if we go for Casper Schmeichel. Nah, can't see that. Can't see that. Old Budgie was a better keeper than Bain. This is true, and it still astounds me that we went and got him on an extended 3-year contract. Oh, wait a minute. There is news coming out about Vata that it's not Torino. It might not be Torino. Might be Verona. Well, there's a turn up for the books. There's a turn up for the books. And it's looking like it's going to be 450,000 plus add-ons for Rocco Vata, which is interesting. It's a little bit less than what I thought. And it's only 50,000, but yeah, that's something else. There is going to be add-ons if the deal can be struck in the next couple of days, and the next day and a bit. Verona or Club Bruges. Well, Club Bruges were always there because that's Ronnie Dyla, isn't it? Ronnie Dyla's been after him for a while. There's more chance of it. I'm actually going there now that I think of it. There's probably more chance of I'm going there to have the connection with Ronnie, the Ronnie Roa. Bain because he's Scottish. Yeah, that is the only reason that we got Bain on that contract because he was Scottish and we needed him for the European contingent. That was a lot of people seem to be watching the game last night. I knew there was a lot of people watching the game because the stats on my YouTube channel just completely dived last night, and nobody was watching YouTube. Which, but we might have news going forward for the Champions League. Me and my boy were in the Clues Green years ago. Still can't watch Bain play. It haunts him. No wonder. No wonder. In fact, was Bain not the keeper in Sweden as well? I can't remember. 20. No, it wasn't because he was before Bain. That was Ronnie Dyler years. Right. Bain, Sky Sports, the Huns were all went wrong. Who cares about them? Who cares about them? Right. The news that's coming out this morning is that local Vata looks like he might go to Club Bruges. Ronnie Dyler, I'm sure, is the manager there. But it's not going to be Torino. It might be Verona that he might go to. But I could see him going to Club Bruges now, especially for the costing around about 450 grand plus add-ons. Let's see if there's any other Celtic news coming about. Celtic injured players spotted back in training. I think that's what I spoke about in this morning's video. It's just about being back in training. Yeah, it's just about and Kobayashi. Would be interesting if Kobayashi was to come in. It's not going to come in. Not a chance. Not a chance. He's just back in training. Like I said this morning, I think it's paramount that any injured players that are coming back, we put them into the team. Scott Brown giving away that Phil. They scored to win the game. Watched the home game pure brilliant. A lot of people were watching the game last night. Barry says, I think we worry too much about goalkeeper position. Definitely more important areas of the pitch to be filled. Uh, no, because I think it's the fact that Bain Hart, the way that he was playing last year, he didn't like this passing out to the sides. He was a nightmare at it. He's kicking and passing out. I mean, there was one game at the start of the season, one kick out at the start of the season. Rather than kicking it along the line, he kicks it out for a corner. And I think they know the limitations of the keeper. And then fair play to him if he hangs up his boots at Celtic and then buggers off to America to finish his career in America. Him and his family can then make a few bucks in America and then probably stay over there. Seems to be the thing to do rather than going to. If there aren't any more deadline day signings, we have been hoodwinked by the board. False promises. There's going to be another forced 3 signings. Going to be another couple of signings today, and there'll be at least 2 tomorrow. Trust me on that one. Trust me on that one. I think it's going to be exciting to the window for us. But we've already had 7 players in already. We've had 7 players now. We've had 7 players in this window already. So have we been hoodwinked by the board, or has the board hoodwinked Brendan and not brought in the players that Brendan says that we needed? We didn't really need a load of squad players, but we'll wait and see tomorrow. We will be doing the live tonight for the Champions League, and there will be a live tomorrow evening. I'm not sure about what time it'll be live at yet because there is some important issues that I need to take care of tomorrow evening, late afternoon. You just call it evening back home, right? Quality over quantity, Portugal. Yeah, we didn't need quality over quantity. We needed a lot of quality brought in because the quantity was your quantity for me. Your quantity is your youth players. That's where your quantity should be added to the squad. We shouldn't be putting our young players out on loan. Spoke about it the other day when we did the live, and Martin O'Neill had about 5 players in his first team squad that were aged between 19 and 20. And that's what you want. You want to have these players in your squad so that they're in there and they're in training every week. And um, that builds up the squad and it builds up their players, so it makes them ready to make that transition into the first team. Bringing them in, bringing them up through the B team, and then sending them out on loan is absolutely no good as far as I'm concerned. But that's a conversation for another day. 100% spend 10 to 15 million on a player instead of 3 balloons at 5 million. Talking about balloons at 5 million. We bought one at 6.5 million and sold them for 25. So there's not many balloons at 5 million that we've bought. Well, there is a keeper, and we sold him for 4.5. We let him go for nothing, absolutely nothing. Right, other Celtic news is it because we're only doing half an hour. Uh, Ah, all I'm seeing is absolute devastation with them. It's a shot, productive Palmer in seventh heaven. There's nothing sort of new about this morning, which is a bit disappointing. But there's one thing that has to be said. Um, Getting this guy for Liverpool has been absolutely fantastic because I'm seeing the amount of clubs that he's been linked with in the last 48 hours. Nat Phillips. Do you know he was talking about going back to Germany, Saudi Arabia, uh, exceptional Liverpool player is known in England. He's about to leave. So yeah, that was all yesterday. So I think Nat Phillips will be the one that will get unleashed on us this afternoon, and then it'll be the guy from Benfica, Bernardo. He'll come in and hope the manager's Portuguese is as good as his Spanish because he'll need it. The Blues are in the boardroom, Baz. Yeah, the Blues are in the boardroom. A jetty, he has left. He is, yeah, we got 500,000 for him. We won a watch with that one. Left back from Ipswich. If Davis was rumor, they went around 10 million. We're not spending 10 million on a left back flanky. Not a chance. If we wouldn't bring back Kieran Tierney, we're not going to spend 10 million. And I know it's different levels. You know, when you go for that 10 million price to 20 million price and then your wages. You know, anyway, right, we're going to call it for this morning. Remember that we are live. Yeah, get the thumbs up. Ian says get the thumbs up. We are going live at 5 p.m. Celtic Park time tonight. Make sure you're on that live because it is all about the Champions League. And remember, we're the only club in Scotland in the Champions League. So thanks for joining us live this morning. John, if you're still on, say hi to Kev for me. I'll speak to him later on today. It'll be the night after the live. So on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up.